Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. Quake-ravaged Nepal is rebuilding itself bit by bit. A week after the Himalayan country's date with tragedy, we here at Headlines Today get you the most disturbing pictures. Pictures of tragedy, pictures of devastation, pictures when death struck Nepal. The Himalayan tragedy has claimed more than 6,000 lives already. Headlines Today is trying to gauge the magnitude of devastation with two distinct images. The first when the earthquake struck, and then the trail of devastation it left behind. Take a look at these CCTV footages of around 11:49 AM local Nepal time on 25th April. These are images of a leading departmental store called Bhat Batani store. The people trying to realize the earthquake and then run helter and skelter for a cover.
25th April, Saturday. The moment when destruction struck Nepal at noon. As Nepal now pieces itself together, watch these images of when the tragedy actually struck. This is the CCTV footage Headlines Today has accessed, a shopping store in the country's capital, Kathmandu. This is the exit gate of the store. As the earth starts shaking, a sense of panic visible. People running towards the open as crates carrying bottled mineral water collapse. Passage through the only exit gate is hindered. Shopping trolleys shake. Red storage boxes burst open. We now get you pictures from camera number 2. This is a shot from the cash counter. Watch closely as the camera shows how people at the cash counter are running for their lives. Shelves violently moving around. By now, people shopping realize this is a ferocious quake. Rushing out in the open, the only way to stay protected. Look at this footage from the store's camera number 3. This camera shows how within seconds, not just items, but even the shelf collapses. There was no one standing here. But just imagine, it took all of 3 seconds for passage to be completely blocked. The fourth camera shows these two women shopping, completely unaware what is about to hit them. Suddenly, the moment arrives. 11:49 AM. The camera captures the instant reaction of these two as they notice all is not well. They rush out just in time, before everything comes crashing down. Camera 5 captures images from the cosmetics department. Notice how everything is meticulously stacked on the shelf. And then suddenly, all loosely kept cosmetic products start shaking. And when the magnitude increases, everything comes crashing down.
In this CCTV footage, we showed you how earthquake struck a departmental store. Now we are getting you pictures of city centre, a leading motorway in the heart of Kathmandu, where people running here and there for a cover. But beyond that, these images will tell you how powerful the earthquake was. Take a look.
The Kathmandu city centre, an important intersection in the Nepalese capital. Pictures from Saturday afternoon as traffic goes about normally. CCTV camera placed on a foot-over bridge captures the moment earthquake struck Nepal. Everything, from pillars to electricity poles, starts shaking. A man runs for his life as a building slab falls down. By now, it has been understood by all that this is an earthquake of very high magnitude. Notice the biker on the left of your screen. 7.9 on the Richter scale, an earthquake so violent that the biker not only loses balance but collapses on the road. This woman on the right finding it difficult to maintain body balance. A few seconds later, calm returns. The earth has stopped shaking. Those horrified are standing in the middle of the road, still to come to terms with what just happened. These are pictures from Kathmandu city centre roundabout. Traffic moves about normally. 11:49 AM and things change. Earthquake strikes and notice how the electricity wires are moving. At this moment, motorists stop their cars immediately. The canopy protecting the statue right in the middle of the roundabout collapses. People from nearby shops rush to the center of the road.
These pictures just explain how difficult that moment would have been for the people living here. We now get you CCTV images from the famous Shangri-La Hotel of Kathmandu and get to know on how the people reacted at that very moment.
Kathmandu's famous Shangri-La Hotel. This is the CCTV footage from the hotel's corridor. A regular Saturday afternoon, the hotel's room service staff preparing to clean the rooms. Camera 1, 11:49 AM. Doors suddenly ajar. Service room doors open and shut. Notice how this room service assistant struggles to understand what's happening. She ducks, holds the edge of the door, but doesn't run away. A tourist runs out of his room. Notice how the tube lights along the passage start flickering. By now, the worst is behind them. The intensity of the earthquake is reduced. The hotel attendant now still not leaving the corridor. Another tourist runs out. Within seconds, a third guest also leaves. Camera 2. These are images from a CCTV camera installed at the hotel staircase. Just a minute after the earthquake, this camera captures hotel guests rushing out in the open. Here in the main lawn, camera number 3 captures people gathered for an afternoon function. Suddenly they realize that there's an earthquake. Guests, even the cooks preparing the meals, rush to the main lawn. Notice the water body at the center of the park. The violent movement of the water shows the magnitude of the earthquake. Camera 4 at the hotel is at the main entrance. At 11:49 AM, people entering suddenly notice an earthquake. A family quickly holds each other's hands. By now, the hotel staff has started moving outside. One staffer has a head injury. All CCTV cameras showing us that one chaotic minute in the life of people in Kathmandu.
In the first segment, we got you images when the earthquake struck Nepal. We now get you images of the devastation it has left behind. These are not ordinary images. These are images taken by the Headlines Today's drone camera. We went to the famous Darbar Chowk, the iconic UNESCO heritage site, which has now been reduced to rubble.
Two distinct images of the quake and the devastation it has left behind. Headlines Today's drone camera has attempted to capture the devastation. These are visuals from the once iconic Darbar Square, a UNESCO heritage site now reduced to rubble. Devastation seen like never seen before. Structures that have withstood many a calamity, even an earthquake 8 decades ago. This time, the tremor perhaps too strong to defy.
The kind of perspective that the drone is able to give you, you can't see the destruction in that scale in any other way, because it gives you a really wide perspective of all the destruction from the Darbar Square that we saw, and from from all the destruction that we've seen around the city. The drone gives you a perspective that you just can't see in any other way.
This sequence captures the damage to the roof of an adjoining building, one of the royal palaces situated at the Darbar Square. Gates, windows, pillars, completely damaged. We also took our drone camera to Kapri village on the outskirts of Kathmandu. Images of a place where devastation is visible, but relief hard to come by.
The idea was to be able to use the drone wherever possible, use technology to make things more efficient and faster. So we were in Sindhupal Chowk this morning, and we were in the center of the valley, and asking the locals where all help has not been able to reach. And from there, sort of 2 kilometers line of sight, we would send it on top of a mountain somewhere and be able to find out the kind of destruction that has happened, and if help has actually reached there, or if people are just standing there stranded because the cars just couldn't reach those places.
Streets here in this village resemble ghost towns. Roads, houses, absolutely deserted.
If you think I'm in the attic of a house, wait for a few seconds, because you'll see that it's actually a 2-storied building which is transformed into rubble. At present, we are in the 3rd worst affected district of Nepal. There have been 193 deaths here so far, but the entire area, the entire district, which is called Kapri, has at least 697 injured. You can look at this entire house, at this entire area, and there are 75% houses here which have been affected by the quake and have been turned into rubble, which actually looks like this. We've visited at least 3 houses which are like this. There are just school buildings which are earthquake resistant, and people live there at night, and in the daytime they try to pick up pieces to get their lives on track once again.
We also visited a National Disaster Relief Force rescue site. An operation to rescue people trapped under the debris.
The NDRF team is currently trying to find an alternate approach route to go inside where they suspect these 5 bodies to be. They're trying to shore this wall so that it becomes safe for them to make an approach. As you can see, there's a lot of debris lying around, lots of big blocks, big slabs of bricks, which are very, very dangerous when left loose. They're trying to shore this area. They've already been able to pull out one dead body from right behind there, where you see blood spattered on that piece of cloth. That's where they pulled out a body. There are 5 more people who are suspected to be inside, and they're trying to look for them. What happens next?
Usually after drilling the holes, people, since when the building collapses like this, so bodies are trapped. So with the help of airlifting bags, we have to lift the structures so that the body can be taken out.
So you put those bags over here and you've dug these holes?
Yeah, they can be inflated and we can get some space. So that
this building is already very brittle, making it very difficult for you actually to be able to stand here and operate.
I mean, surely since it has collapsed like this and it was already a weak foundation building, so this risk is always there. But these things that has to be done in this environment only, and our boys.
You said this is a multi-floor building, right?
Yeah.
So we're currently on the top floor. What about the possibility of there being bodies?
On the 3rd floor.
We're now on the 3rd floor.
We're standing on the.
How many floors are below us, sir?
2 more floors.
So is there? Have you been able to go down to those 2?
Yeah, we could see on the 2nd floor.
See again through these cameras.
Yeah. But ground floor we have not been able to see so far.
Is there at all any possibility that you'll be able to pull somebody alive? Is there a possibility of miracle survivors on the 4th day, sir?
This cannot be ruled out totally, but possibility is very low. But occasions have been there in the past when people have been able to come out live after more than 78, 90 hours also.
Well, it's incredible the kind of effort that you all are making over here on a building that is very, very shaky. You can almost, each time there's a minor tremor, you can feel the entire building shake.
Two images a week after the horrific quake tell a tale of devastation, rescue and now rehabilitation.
With this, we come to the end of this special broadcast on Headlines Today. But before we go, we get you this defining image of April 25th, 2015, when the sun set on Nepal's capital, Kathmandu. Thank you for watching. And here's hoping that the unconquerable spirit of Nepal will help it in rising from the rubble and the current state of despair.
Facing its worst natural disaster in over 80 years, this nation of 27 million people will draw on its primeval strength of fighting tremendous odds. To rebuild and renew its journey of life. What is today rubble is for Nepal the challenge of tomorrow. What is now death is another beginning. What is sorrow will firm the force to strive anew. It is a place of grand scenic beauty and a land of deep traditions. Locked in by giant neighbors, wedged between the high Himalayas and fertile plains, Nepal is a country of old religion and hardy individuals. And it is this, the acknowledged Nepalese power of endurance, that will define the days to come. For highland people living in the lap of undulating land, the sun that sets behind a mountain rises across the ridge tomorrow. The darkness that envelopes the sky is to count the stars in heaven. For Nepal, the morning light will shine again. The mountain peaks beckon, the verdant slopes wait. The snow on high passes glisten. In the debris of destruction, luminous hope and resolute will survives. And that no earthquake can ever shake.